Don't waste money trying to build something that nobody needs in the end. Everyone tells you that coming up with an idea is only 5% of the business, which is true, and I'm not doubting that, but it is not so easy to come up with a good business idea. And if you come up with a good idea, you're going to save yourself a lot of time in the future in comparison to coming up with something bad that's not going to work out. So it isn't everything inside the execution. A lot of it comes down to picking a good idea that you can iterate over in the future. In this video, I will give you some strategies how you can come up with good business ideas. The first and most important rule is don't Google your ideas and don't ask your friends for ideas. It depends of the type of business. You have business to business businesses and you have business to customer businesses. But in most cases, what you are going to build or what you're trying to build is not going to be for your friends. Your friends are not going to be the ones who are going to purchase or pay for your service. This isn't always true, of course. Some apps are going to work that way, but in 98% of cases, that's not going to be the case for you. The second thing is don't Google ideas. You have pretty much noticed this. If you Google startup ideas 2020, that you will come up to a few blogs, and each one of those blogs are going to put the absolutely same content. It's going just to be a copy paste from blog to blog. You can find some useful information on Quora or Reddit where someone asked a question or posted something, but in most cases it won't be so relevant to you, or it will be already an old idea, or it will be maybe too general to turn into a real business. One of the best advantages you can possibly have is to come up first with something. And if you want to come up first, you can't Google the idea. Doesn't make sense. Pretty much everything you find online is either already mainstream or you had such luck to find something in its just beginnings. But in most cases, you will need to research yourself and go deep into a specific topic to come up with good ideas for that certain field. Depending on the type of business you're building, either a business to business business or a B2C business to customers business, there are completely different strategies you need to implement for those. If you are focusing on business to customer, of course you have a much broader audience you can ask. Maybe this is a social media app, and then of course you can proceed to ask your friends, or it will be much easier for you to find an audience that is probably going to accept your app or your ideal customer. But if you're going to build a business to business app, you will need to have a completely different strategy, which starts from different pricing strategies up to different features. For example, business customers will be much more cautious about security and self-hosting, but for business to business, in most cases, you will have to go deeper because businesses require custom solutions or standard tailored solutions for their specific needs, which means that you can't just create a generalized app, go out and pitch this to businesses. Most businesses operate in a different way, and you will need to get familiar with how those specific target businesses operate in your area and research their processes much more thoroughly. The next one is crucial. You absolutely need to follow this. If you don't follow this, everything falls apart. You need to think problems first and not product first. So what does this mean? You probably heard this one, but you need to focus on a problem. You need to think, what problem am I having? What problem is my company having? What problem is my surroundings having? The people around me, the companies around me, and so on. You need to think in that direction, and when you specify a problem, you specify it's large enough, you specify people are willing to pay for it, then you're going to start coming up with a solution. Okay, how could I improve this problem? And it is also extremely important that you stay focused in a specific area. It's very easy to jump from area to area, like saying, okay, great, blockchain is the next big thing, I'm gonna need to find something inside of blockchain, or okay, AI is the next great thing, I need to find something that's connected with AI. No, you don't think that way. You think, okay, people in my neighborhood are having problems by finding a good housekeeper or something. Okay, I can build maybe using machine learning some recommendation system that's going to recommend me the best housekeeper that's close to me. You need to think in that direction and not in the direction, okay, I have a cool technology, I have a cool product, who can I pitch this for? And this is especially a problem for engineers who come from a technical background, including myself. You really need to focus on the problem first. If you're interested in learning how to become a programmer or how to build your own startup in this current day and age, everything from generating an idea to launching a product, you can take a look at my course. The IT sector has changed a lot and it is not nearly enough anymore to just learn a programming language or a tech stack. If you want to future-proof your career or be in the top 1%, you need to know a lot more, including business, software architecture, marketing, email marketing, programming, integrating or combining the right stacks and tools. I go into all those topics in the course and it is constantly being updated because the world is always evolving, so the course will be updating for years and years to come. So keep in mind, the course is never complete. There are always new sections being added pretty much weekly. The link is in the description down below, or you can just head to noveltechmedia.com. The next thing you also need to take into consideration is don't follow hypes. Of course, there are certain trends you need to follow. For example, we are heading into a world of automation and you need to think in an automated way. You can't go backwards and try to manually implement something that's being automated every day and probably is going to become 100% automated by the time your product is ready. So you need to go with the time, but saying that, you still always need to keep the problem in focus and not the technology in focus. So what does this mean? For example, what is blockchain solving? Blockchain is solving a security and privacy issue. So it is not solving something new, that's not a problem that occurred with blockchain. It is solving something that's already existent with the new technology. And that's the way you need to think, and not just hype onto blockchain because you think it's the future and I'm just going to create a chess game using blockchain because it's cool, but chess players don't really care if you're using blockchain or PHP or Java or whatever. The next thing is also really crucial. You need to focus on one certain field. I already mentioned that, but I can't stress enough how important it is. You need to pick something. Of course, you can change over time, but pick something and stay with it. Like, the chances of you succeeding in any area are pretty high if you stay focused in that area. But if you are only spending 6 months into one area, then jumping for 2 months into another, you're not going to succeed. Why? Because there is someone who spends 10 years looking at real estate. And if you're spending like 6 months with programming, then you jump 2 months to real estate, you're not going to compete with those people because those people are spending years and years and years of their time into that specific field. That's why you need to stay focused in your field that you're going to. And you need to go really deep inside of that field. For example, you're going into the productivity apps field. So there are a lot of productivity apps out there, but you need really to understand how people use those apps, why they use it, what brings them to use them, where there is a market cap, for example, what are the main apps not covering. And in order to come to those conclusions, you're not going to find a blog online, you're not going to Google this, your friends are not going to give you that answer. You have to do your own research and really go deep into that topic, and then you will find ideas and think, why is nobody doing that? And that's the moment when you're going to come up with a really good idea. You also can't rush it. You need to invest this time into research. I know maybe you want to start a project next week and you want to be finished in a month, but it doesn't work like that. You're just going to waste that month. If you just want to learn a new programming language, it's not going to waste your time. But if you want to build some real product, then in most cases it will be wasted time. And the last one, which really matters, is would you self-use your product? It's like with anything. If you want to write a book and you're just writing the book, but you can't even stop to read what you're writing, most probably nobody else will. So you really need to enjoy the product you're building. You really need to think, okay, that's really something I would use. Or maybe, of course, you're not the ideal customer for your product and you don't have to be, but you need to put yourself in the shoes of the customer and really If you're selling, I don't know, if you're creating software for medical equipment, you need to think, okay, I'm on the receiving end, I'm the customer, why would I buy this? What would motivate me? How much would I pay? Would I trust this person? How much is trust important? And that's the perspective you need to look from. You can't look from your own perspective, you always need to look from the customer's perspective. If you want to start a career in software development or create your own startup, build your own products, head over to noveltechmedia.com. You can also find the link in the description. Thank you so much for watching, stay motivated and subscribe to the channel, like the video if you enjoyed it, and also head over to the next video in the tutorial series.